Welcome back, friends. In this video, I'm going to quickly show you how you can validate a product. Uh, so basically what we are going to see is whether a product exists in the database. For example, over here in our get product by ID endpoint, if we pass in a 7 ID, we've got a product. But for example, if we pass in 7898, we don't have that product. And we need to handle this situation and throw a proper error message back to the user. So to do that, we can use a request. So PHP artisan make request, and I'm going to say get product request. You can name it anything, but I'll name it get product request for now. That should create a get product request file in here under your app http request folder. Now we're going to use this for validating and checking if a product exists in the database. So let me quickly copy this, and we're going to modify this function. So instead of product, we're going to say get product request. Now we go back. First of all, we need to import this. It's already imported. Yeah, it's already imported. Now we go here. Let's just change this to true for now. Authorize true. And then we need to override a function. This is a Laravel function. So this function basically merges the URL parameters with the post parameters, and then you can access that parameter in the rules method. So the function for this is protected function prepare for validation, and I'm going to say this merge. PHP Storm gives me a nice little autocomplete in there, so I'm just going to say product ID, and product ID should be this root and the param name, in this case product. So we're going to merge the root parameter product into product ID, and now we can use that product ID for our validation. So I'm not going to say required, I'm just going to check if it exists in a database. Now let's go back to our product controller and use this. So we're going to use this in the show method. Let's just tie dump the product validated and see what we are getting back from the postman request. Oh, now we're getting the selected product ID is invalid. That means this product is not found in the database. If we go back to our real product, we should get back some data. And in that case, we get product ID as 7. So we can use that now to get the product. So product, so this will be data, product validated, and we can use this data over here, or you can use product ID, whichever way, and we can say product ID, but I prefer using it product underscore ID, and then we can get rid of this tie dump over here. That should work. There you go. That works. So if you put an invalid product, it should throw an error. But if you put a real product, it should give you the data that you need. We can also use the validation that we have written for the update product and delete product requests. So let's go to the product controller and use the same get product request over here. Let's tie down product and see what we are getting back. Product validated. So if it's a real product, it should update, and if it is not, if the product doesn't exist in the database, it should throw an error. And there you go, it throws an error. So let's modify this function a little bit and say data. We know what we get from product validated. That's the product ID. Let's get rid of this. Let's change this to product ID. And use the product ID over here because we don't have ID on the product because now we are validating it. So we are getting back product ID after validation, and we can use the same thing. We'll have to change this to first, and that should work, hopefully. Yeah, it's validating, and if we update it, it should validate it. Let's just update it to something else. Yes, it's updating, so that's working. Now let's do it to the delete endpoint. In the same way, we go to the destroy method, change product to get product request, and similarly we copy this and we use the product ID instead. And let's try to delete one of the records. I'm going to delete 11. Let's try to delete a product that doesn't exist in the database. It should throw an error. But if I try to delete 11, which is there in the database, it should delete and give me a response.